Yo, what up, Gundam Planeteers? We're back with another webisode trying to teach you some Gundam related activity. We looked through our Facebook thing and we saw that a lot of you guys are having a lot of trouble with decals. So we're going to hook you up with decal help right now. But in all seriousness, we are going to help you with decals. So the first thing you're going to want to say to yourself is, what Gundam do I want to decal? So first off, you're going to walk over to your IKEA Detolf and you're going to select one of your boys. And you're going to say, it's your time. It's your time for the decaling. So right now this is my boy, the outpatient Mr. Wiggles. And he's going to get all prettied up today. Mr. Wiggles doesn't stand very well because he's very heavy, but soon he'll be a lot better looking than he is right now. So once you've selected your Gundam friend to pretty up, you're going to need a bunch of different supplies. So the first thing is you're going to think to yourself, well, which decals do I use? And you're going to look in your box and there's going to be a few different options that you're going to have. With this kit, you know, Bandai sometimes they'll go all out and they'll give you the water slides right in with your model. But the Full Armor Unicorn Verka, they don't do that for you. So you're going to get a set of marking stickers. As you can tell by the green, there's a bit of a clear film there. You can generally tell if it's a marking sticker by the fact that you can peel it. You can peel it right off of here, real easy. You're going to get the dry transfers, which is a clear sheet with like a translucent piece of tissue paper under it. And the third option you're going to have as far as decals go is going to be your Bandai water slide decals, available for only $6.95. So a lot of kits, like I said, sometimes you're going to be able to get them with the kit. The new Gundam Verka, the Sazabi Verka, things like that are going to come with it. A lot of older models, sometimes they only came with water slides. So for this kit you have to buy it separately, unfortunately. But so the difference between these three here is you're going to get similar look with the water slides and the dry transfers. You're not going to have that like weird clear film around it like you are with the marking stickers. It just takes a little bit more work either which way. So you're going to need a few different kind of tools to do this with. Right now what we have here, you got your Tamiya Modeler's Knife Pro. You're going to have some tweezers, some masking tape, also Tamiya brand. You're going to have a little thing to put some water in. You're going to have your mark softer. Now a lot of people will tell you need to use mark setter. I'll tell you first and foremost, I don't have any mark setter right now and that's why it's not here. Second of all, you don't actually need it. Mark setter apparently works really well with like older, not so great water slide decals, or if you're using it to affix it to maybe a model that you've already painted and you don't plan on top coating. But generally with more recent water slide transfers on a model that you're going to top coat anyway, which you almost definitely should, and we're going to get to that in a later video, you really don't need mark setter. Mark softer is specifically used to adhere decals to a curved surface, which we're going to show you. So once you have all this stuff together, you can pretty much start decaling right away. You just need to get your instruction manual and you can go to town, and we're going to show you the way to apply all three different kinds of decals. Alright, so now that we have Mr. Wiggles safely on the hospital bed, it's time to begin the operation. So the first thing we're going to show off is this is the marking stickers. This is the easiest, by far the easiest, although sometimes more frustrating option of putting decals on your model. And really the only thing you need to do for this is at the back of every instruction manual, you take a look at the decal guide, which is, it's going to be off screen here, but if you look at the back of your model's construction manual, it will be there. And we'll say to ourselves, oh, I really want to apply the decal on this general area right here. So I look at my thing and okay, it's number 38. So we got our fancy marking sticker sheet and we find 38, and there it is. You get your tweezers. A lot of people do this with the end of a hobby knife. You can do whatever you want. So just peel this guy up right here. I kind of rip him off sometimes. There you go. It's on the end. Take a look. Alright, so we want that to be roughly right here. Set that down, and that's it. And that's it's literally the entire process of putting a marking sticker on, and now got a little chicken pox going on down there. So that's good. It's good. Alright, next up we're going to do this dry transfer game right here. So, a couple different things you're going to need to do. First thing, obviously, so most of the dry transfers that come with this unicorn are white. They're going to look terrible on the white unicorn, so we're going to do one on Mr. Wiggly's gun right here so he can blast all of his enemies and soak in their blood. So we're going to do the same thing as before. We're going to take a look at our guide and your instruction manual and figure out which one you want to do. So, I don't know, 37 feels about right, so we're going to feel that boy out on here, get that 37. And what you do is you take your hobby knife and you slice this right out of here. Sometimes this is the worst thing in the universe, sometimes it's not so bad. You just want to make sure, making deliberate cuts. This is what you need the cutting mat for. So we're going to go ahead and slice this guy right out of here. I'm probably covering that up with my fingers, but best you can see it. There we go. So at this point, make sure that we remove the decal. Careful, I just completely screwed up the other 37 decal when I cut this out because I cut it wrong. So just make sure you don't do that. Luckily, I don't actually mind. I guess I shouldn't say mind. I don't care. So anyway, what you do next is you're going to take your dry transfer. You're going to affix it to part of the kit you'd like to apply it on. So here we go. And then we're gonna, roughly figure out where you want that to go on there. And then this is where this can be kind of a pain sometimes. You need to take some masking tape and secure it as best as you possibly can. I didn't realize earlier, it's worth pointing out, I didn't realize earlier that using the Tamiya masking tape evidently is way preferred, because I saw a post on a Facebook group, someone used regular masking tape to do dry transfers, and evidently it left some really nasty residue that they actually had to sand off of their kit. So you probably don't want to have to waste your time doing that. So I would recommend getting the Tamiya masking tape. I'm sure we carry it, most other hobby places carry it. It's a really good thing to have. Once you feel like you have a good grasp as to where this is going to be, you're ready to press on the decal. My preferred method of doing this is using a quarter. I have no idea what other people use. You could probably use the back of the knife, you could probably use the back of the tweezer, you could probably use whatever you want. I really don't care, but quarter works out really well. So once you have this secured in place, because these things do move and then will ruin your decal forever, you just want to press down as hard as possible without breaking anything. Make sure that the graphic comes off of the clear plastic and affixes itself to your model. So sometimes you have to just lift it up really carefully to make sure it's on there. You also want to make sure, if you accidentally covered up any of it with the tape, that you kind of move the tape to press that on really good. And just be firm. So we go to lift that up, and as you can see, the graphic now is on the gun and not on the plastic anymore. Rip off your masking tape. And if you can see it, there goes your dry transfer. Looks pretty good. And unfortunately, when it comes to doing dry transfers, they are super time consuming because you wind up doing this over and over and over again. But generally, if you're careful and you don't screw it, you make sure that it is held down correctly before going to town. You don't mess them up. It's gonna look really nice when you're done. So it's pretty easy to do. You really don't need a whole lot of extra tools required, and if you're patient, it's gonna look way better than marking stickers will. So the last sort of decal that we're going to show off here is the water slide. It's my personal favorite. I feel like you get the best result. It's more time consuming than doing stickers, but a little less frustrating than working with dry transfers. Other people, obviously results may vary. You can do whatever you like the best, but this is my favorite thing. And to illustrate a couple different points here, I'm gonna go with the fact that a lot of people think, oh wow, they number these stickers, so I have to do all of them. You really don't, because if you're going to put a whole bunch of red transfers on your unicorn, it's going to look like it has chicken pox, which always isn't the best thing. So, use your discretion and do what feels right for you and your model, since you can literally do anything that you want. So right now, we're not going to follow the guide anymore, and I'm going to put one of these Anaheim Electronics logos right on Mr. Wiggly's thigh. As you can see, we have D-legged Mr. Wiggly. for artistic and educational purposes. So the same thing applies when you're starting to do the water slides as you would with the dry transfers. You have your sheet and you just want to carefully cut out the one that you want. Again, having a cutting mat really helps. I used to just like use stacks of newspaper or like a weird piece of plastic to cut stuff out because I didn't realize that cutting mats were a thing. So don't make the same mistakes that I did because it was really dumb. Alright, so we have our decal. And next step here is we are going to literally soak it. You get a little dish. You can, this is just like a random little Pyrex cover thing. You can do anything. You can use paint trays, a little cup, and you literally just sit it in the water. Give it, I don't have an exact time, but you kind of just like want to wait till it's soft. And you can do this. Don't think you're gonna screw the whole thing up. A lot of people think that, oh no, water slides, I'm gonna ruin them and everything. You're really not. If the decal isn't ready to come off of the cardboard, it won't come off, and you just put it back in the water. So really, just like the best tip I can give anyone is to just like deep breaths, take your time, realize that sometimes you screw stuff up, and don't let that deter you from trying to make your stuff look better. Alright, so we're gonna try now, see if we can get this off here. The whole idea is to use sometimes a toothpick or a Q-tip to kind of tease the decal off the sheet. And this doesn't look like at this point it's ready yet, so we're gonna let it soak a little bit longer. Alright, so as you can see, it's coming right off. And at this point, you can kind of just discard this little paper. It doesn't matter, just make a pile of them. So, I'm going to fool around with this to kind of decide where I want it. Just be careful when you're doing it. You don't want to mess up the gorgeous decals. So a lot of the times you'll have a large decal that you are supposed to put on a curved surface, and it's really not going to take too well. This one's not doing too bad actually. It's adhering itself pretty well, but all you really need to do once you have your bottle of Mr. Mark Softer is open it up, and literally just gonna brush over the decal. And in the case, this is doing pretty all right, but you'll sometimes note that, and you can't really see it here too much, but the very ends will ripple on the curve, and you don't want that. So you just apply the Mark Softer. I'm gonna go ahead and Q-tip some of this water off here, spread some of that softer. And this too, what I was saying about Mark's header before, if you're worried about the decal slipping out from under you, you are going to get a better surface to put the decal on with the setter. You don't absolutely need it for any reason. Don't let anyone tell you that it's a must-have, but it's not going to hurt. At that point, you kind of just let it sit and let it dry. And once, if you work your way around the model, you can kind of let a couple things dry at a time. Obviously, smaller ones are going to be a lot easier to kind of do a whole bunch of them in quick succession. Another thing too is, don't be afraid that once you get it on there that you can't move it. You can take a toothpick and be really gentle with a Q-tip and just kind of brush it into place wherever you want it to be until it gets there. And eventually, sometimes it takes time, it takes patience, but you can definitely get that exactly where you want it to be. So anyway, guys, Mr. Wiggly, he's got a sweet new leg tattoo. It looks really good. His gun's done up. Sorry we couldn't do the entire model, as it does take a considerable chunk of time to get something like this done. But at the same time, you're going to be looking at, a way better finished product even if you do this. And like I said before, if you're worried about the decals coming off, do some top coat. We're definitely going to have a video coming showing you exactly how to do that if you're sort of unsure now. So Anyway, from me and my boy Mr. Wiggly, see you guys next time.